Hey, what's up, everyone? So today is a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody, and I hope you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I know I am. I'm already half cut, 3 sheets to the wind. Why? Why are you doing that? I mean, aside from it being Friday, 18th of November, well, for me, it's Pride Week. Why am I saying that? Because Grindr had its IPO today, and I traded it, and it's one of the best trades I've ever had. Probably, I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's certainly in the top 10. We made almost $50,000 on Grindr today. We made over $50,000 across the course of the day as a whole, but almost $50,000 on Grindr alone. So I'm slurring my words because I've had quite a lot of red wine. If you're hearing snoring, it isn't me, it is the chow chow. So what happened? Grindr had its IPO, it moved over 300% to the upside. So it started down at like $15 or something along those lines. Let me just have a quick check on what it actually opened at. $16.90. So Grindr opened at $16.90 today, and it went all the way up to $71.51 at the peak. So, like I said, over 300%, about 323%, if my maths, back of the BMAT maths is correct. So we were able to trade that. We got in. We started trading this. I say we got in. We started trading this a little over $30, and we pretty much rode it all the way up to $70. So to have a $50,000 day means that not only did we capture a lot of, we captured most of the move. So as far as I'm concerned, phenomenal trade. Well, do you know what? I've recorded it, so I've actually edited the trade already for TikTok, but I'm going to stick it on the back of this this video as well. You can watch it in almost real time. What I've done is I've put out the trading. Got caught in so many trading halts, 5-minute, 10-minute halts, but I've cut out the halts, so you're not just sitting around watching anything, or watching paint dry or whatever. I've cut out the halts. You can watch the trade back, and you'll get a lot more information than if you're watching on TikTok, because you'll be able to see what I was doing and the stops and trailing stops and the orders that going in there, etc., etc. So if you've got any questions about the trade, message me directly, drop them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer questions, so drop them in the comments below. The more interaction, the better. Yeah, a $50,000 trade. It's, I would say, probably top 10, possibly even top 5. I'd have to go back to my statistics and find out, is it top 5, one of my top 5 trades of all time? It probably is. It's close. He's close. I would say it's probably certainly top 10, at least anyway. That being said, it's not the only thing we traded today. So in total, we traded 6 stocks. 6 stocks. We traded Veru twice. We traded Veru to the upside and to the short side. So, although we didn't mean to trade it to the short side, we made $10 to the short side with Veru, even though we didn't mean to. So Veru, we made in total, including the $10 we made, it was at $645 with Veru. We made $708 with SatX. We made $2,000 with IC. We lost on JD, $3,350. We made $150 on PaxMed. So, and of course, we made $49,850 on Grindr. Grindr being today, it's IPO day. So I got to about almost 3,000 up on the day. Then Grindr, well, actually, SatX was one of the stocks. It was very volatile, extremely volatile. So that's Satixfy Communications, extremely volatile. And what I would say about that is that the spreads were huge. The volatility, because it had the volatility but not so much the volume, the liquidity in the stock meant that the spreads were quite wide, and Satex, the spreads in some cases were like $1.75, $1.50, $1.75, $2 in some cases. So I traded Satex. It was a recent IPO from October. Traded that, and it was, I got $700 out of it, which is a pittance, but that was largely down to the movement of the stock and the spreads. I didn't feel like the movement, the range, the volatility, and the spreads all justified the risk. The risk was huge. So I got in, and I got out relatively quickly. As I say, relatively quickly. I tried to get in for 5,000 shares. I got filled for 400. It moved up into a halt. So there's nothing I could do. I couldn't get out. I couldn't sell the 400. I couldn't cancel. Well, I did cancel the order for the remainder. But if I'd got the 5,000, it probably would have been sat here over goal on the month, because I probably would have had $9,000 instead of just $708. So the difference between 400 shares and 5,000 shares is huge. So that was Satex. We traded IC. So IC is Inveric Biosciences company, and that was moving up pre-market. We got the best way to describe it is a scalp, a gap and go scalp. So at the open, it moved up, and we jumped in and rode the momentum up. We got out at the top. We put a stop in place, exited us. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll show you that trade before I show you the Grindr trade, and I'll tack it on the back of this video, so you'll be able to enjoy that. Quick trade, quick scalp on the upwards momentum. In, out, $2 grand, happy days. Then we traded JD.com, moving up with a lot of Chinese stocks. We got in at kind of top of a move, and it pulled back on us. We held it. Well, I say we held it probably a little bit too long. We lost $3,300 as a result of that, and I was expecting it to continue moving up, but it didn't. So that was JD.com. And then we traded Grindr was the last thing we traded. So we were about $100 green. So it was slightly green on the day. When I think we traded Veru, 635. So that got us over green. So about $700 green when we took the Grindr trade. As my memory's correcting me, so we're about $700 green when we took the Grindr trade. Now, Grindr was called out on the on my live stream in my live room, and I was watching it and I was looking at it, and I was calling it like it tapped kind of $29 already, and I called it out. Look, it's looking good, but be wary up at 28. If it doesn't break 28, it's probably going to sell off based on the double top scenario, but it did break 28. Did it break 28? So we got in just a little over 30 and rode it all the way up. And I will show you the trade directly. So you enjoy the trade. Let's have a quick look at what we've done here. So we started off. Our first trade was Pax Medica. And you can see it moved up pre-market and then sold off. Had a really good catalyst, sold off. It stayed. It was kind of the VWAP bounce scenario. It was very weak looking. Every time it moved up to the VWAP, it got rejected. And I was like saying, okay, if Pax Medica, based on the catalyst, really good catalyst, it's not moving up pre-market. It's actually selling off. The catalyst broke. The news catalyst broke. It did pump up, but then it's been selling off ever since. Needs to break and hold above the VWAP, and that's where we got in. We got in here, break slightly above the VWAP. It moved up, and then we got out as it pulled back. So that was Pax Medica. It was 5,000 shares. We got in 5,000, and I think we doubled up for 10,000 shares. We got about 10. I think in the grand scheme of things, about 10 cents on that. So just shy of $1,000 in that. So $635 what we finished at is this pullback. So Pax Medica, that was our first trade of the day. Then we traded ICU. So again, this was the trade that we traded. I'll tell you what, I'll show you this on the wider chart, so you can actually see more of the actual action in terms of where we got in, what we were doing, etc. So I'll talk you through on this chart. This is the so in Veric Bio is this ticker. IC, I call it IC because that's the ticker, is ISEE, but it's Inveric Bio. And again, this was one of the pre-market movers, and it was the kind of gap and go, if you will, that we look for, and we got in pretty much up at the top here. So it did pull back, then it moved up, pulled back again, and then we got in with IC as it started to move up. Because we were trading Pax Medica, we kind of missed this one, the early part of this, but then when we came back, we were breaking pre-market highs. So we had pre-market highs here at 21.96, and that's what we looked to break. So my first entry was 21.95. I got a reasonably good fill. So you can see the resistance level here at 21.95, 21.96. But we got in there and was able to break $22, ride that up, and we got out a little bit higher at 22. I think let me have a quick look. 22.28, and then it pulled back. So 22.28. So we didn't quite get the full move, but we did get some of that. And then it pulled back, and we got the rest out. So I think when we cut the 22.28, we put a 10-cent stop in place, and got stopped out for the rest at 22.18. But even so, we made a decent piece on that. So $2,000, nice trade. Then we traded SATX. So SATX was moving up. It moved up into a halt. Then we found out that it moved up into show it on the 1 minute chart. It's probably a bit easier to show. It moved up into a halt. Then it kind of consolidated a little bit and moved up into another halt. Our first entry on this was right here as this moved up into this halt. It then started to pull back. Very difficult to trade. It moved up again, very volatile, up into another halt, up at the top. It was a very volatile stock. We didn't trade this beyond the first halt. We got in and then took some profits, got out. Problem with this is we didn't get filled. I would have been happy to hold this with a larger size. We only got filled for 400 shares. Now, I went in for 5,000 shares and got a partial fill of 400. So I cancelled the rest, and then when it moved up, I exited the position and got out. If I'd maintained the 5,000, I would have been happy with the risk, and we could have rolled this all the way up. Let's talk about what else we traded. JD. So at this stage, we're about $3,000 up on the day. So then we traded JD. JD was moving up. Took the red green line here, so the closing price went to get green, went to get green again. Third time broke it. That's when we went in. We got in here for this key resistance level, key support level, broke the VWAP, came back down, then broke the actual red green line, moved up. So that's when we got in. When it pulled back, I figured, okay, I don't mind the pullback. I was looking for the break of 58.50. But don't mind the pullback. Came all the way back down to the red green line. I thought, okay, we've got such a confluence of support here that there's no way we're not going to get a bounce. Of course, the market can be, technicals are not 100%, but the market can be irrational at times as well. And I'm thinking, and if you watch the live, you will have heard me saying this. You've got the VWAP here. You've got the red green line. You've got the exponential, the 9 exponential, all converging at pretty much the same level. So that's why I held it so long, ready for a bounce, and we didn't get the bounce. I was looking for a bounce. I actually added for the break of the VWAP. I averaged down, I guess is the a better description, but I added to my position, doubled down on my position to move up on the break of 58. It never got back up above 58. If it had got back above 58, I think we would have been back at the races, but it never did. So shoulda, woulda, coulda. So when it actually broke the VWAP, I got out. So that was the lowest of the confluence that I was looking at. That we had the 9 EMA, we had the red green line, we had the VWAP, and I thought, okay, I could have held it to the 20 EMA, but I would have lost even more money. So I lost $3,300 on JD.com. So that's essentially what set us up. Now, Veru has been historically really good stock for me to trade, and despite its recent turmoils with the FDA and stock additional stock offerings and things like that, so it's been beat up over the last couple of weeks. It did have a bit of a good day today. It moved up to kind of 665, and we decided to get into Veru, and we managed to get a little over $600 on Veru. So we got in Veru at the break of the $0.50. So it moved up here. We had this nice test of this previous trend line that I'd drawn, this support line. So it moved up, broke the support line, tested it, and then bounced. So I'm thinking, okay, and again, I'd drawn this line on a previous day, then I traded it. So obviously it's an important line. Moved up, was rejected initially as a resistance at the 650 level. Moved up again. So when it finally broke 650, I got in 652, added to the position, moved up. We got a little over 10 cents on the move. As it started to pull back, we got out, and that's essentially the Veru trade. It was quick, it was simple, and profitable. We locked up. We were up, all those trades I've just been talking about. We did it live on stream. I was trading live, and if you want to watch me trading live, I do it every single day, 90 minutes before the market opens, for the last 90 minutes of the pre-market, the first hour of the regular session. So we're coming up to the end of that first hour for the regular session. So it's finishing up. I ended the live stream, but before I did, in the chat, one of my followers called out Grindr. Now, Grindr's an IPO, so it wasn't on the watch list because it wasn't on the gap list in terms of yesterday's previous closing price. It wasn't the previous day's closing price, so that was a big thing. But someone called out Grindr, so I tapped in Grindr, I looked at it, and then I looked at the catalyst. I looked it up on Benzinga to find out what's going on with Grindr. It's not officially an IPO. It's a merger with a SPAC company, but it's now under the ticker GRND. This is essentially the ticker that we traded for the rest of the day. Well, I say the rest of the day for the next half an hour, and then we were done for the day. It was volatile. Oh, was it volatile? So Grindr, we started off. We got in for 5,000 shares. It moved up, and we got in at the bottom. I'll just move this along here. And you can see where it corresponds on the 5 minute, but I'll show you where it corresponds on the 1 minute here. So we got in here as this moved up into a halt. We entered there. We went in for 5,000 shares. Then we added another 5,000 shares as it then started to make a move up. So we were in for 10,000 shares and we caught in a halt. So we're quite heavy in this position at this stage. We've got $300,000 worth of equity in the position. We've got 10,000 shares. And in hindsight, having just held the 10,000 shares, I could have been sitting here very, very pretty with about $500,000, close to $500,000 in my pocket. However, I'm not that ballsy, and I'm not that confident in my own ability. So after the resumption, I took some profits, moved up. We got a halt here. It resumed higher. It moved up into another halt. It resumed slightly higher before moving up into another halt, and then resumed sideways. Moved up into another halt, gapped 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 up before flushing down. that was Grindr. It was absolutely mental. I was taking positions, I was taking profits, I was adding to the position, I was riding it up, I was putting trailing stops in place, I was trading this to my heart's content. It really was a great stock to trade. $50,000 on the days, well, just shy of $50,000 on the profit with Grindr, $50,000 in total. So very happy trading this across the course of the day. Of course, got to the top. I didn't get in the last move up in the halt. And then when it resumed and started moving down, I'd already called out in the day trade with Tony Discord that, look, I'm done now, I'm waiting for a pullback. And then we got the pullback. Now I need to see new highs. Then it got a gap down into another halt. I thought, I'm going to go and walk the dog, and that's at the point where I walk the dog. Second halt down, it's done for me. We caught the front side of the move. I don't want to get involved in the back side of the move. So I went walking the dog. I came back, we were up here, and it had already started selling off. It kind of struggled at $50 to get over $50 again. It did halt back down again. As it started to sell off again, it halted. A few more halts. Well, we had this situation here, a few more halts, and then it's just slowly now selling off. I've not traded it. We did get this, what I consider a dead cat bounce, halt up, slight gap up, and then a sell off again. And now we're kind of down at $33. So it's, for me, it's dead in the water. I would look for this to become bullish again over kind of $45, $50, but it's now finished trading after hours, $33. So Grindr, happy that I've traded it. Very happy that it was profitable for me. So that, at one stage, I thought of that stock, trading that stock, the way that it moved, I was getting excited. November's not been kind to me. Slightly down on the month. As I say down, I'm still green, but I'm behind target. I even went behind target on the year earlier this week. So I was getting a little bit disheartened and getting a little bit less confident on the ability to have that seven-figure net number. We're already over the seven figures gross. We've got a little over a month left to go, but I was getting a little bit disheartened about getting over that seven-figure net number. The net number for today will take us within 100K of the net number for the year. So given that we've got the best part of a week left, we've got, well, actually more than a week left, even considering even taking into account for Thanksgiving, and then we've got December. I'm now happy enough that we're within touching distance of being able to have that seven-figure net number. It was never an easy target that I set myself at the beginning of the year. Always ambitious. I've never made this much money in my life. Okay, so last year I got a little over seven figures gross. So I was setting myself an ambitious goal to get over seven figures net this year. Let's have a look at where we actually are on the year, shall we? Okay, let's switch over to this page. Okay, so this is my TraderView trading journal. These are this is the calendar. Where does that put us up on November? You can see $50,000 day today, phenomenal day. Really happy with that one, and it only takes one stock. It only takes one stock. But let's have a look at the actual reports and the detailed reports on that. So for the year, I don't want to talk about the year just yet. So that's 1.1 million on the year as a result of that. But let's talk about the month, because that's really what's important. I've been targeting myself on $100,000 a month. $5,000 a day. This week we dropped below $5,000. I was a little bit upset. I didn't cry over it because we're just under $5,000. $4,000 a day across the course of the year is nothing to something. It's not something I should be crying about. It's something I should be proud about. Very proud about, and I am. But as a result of today's trade, our average daily gain now in November is $6,500, and it only takes that one stock to make all the difference. So $6,500. The K ratio still isn't where I need it to be. So K ratio is risk versus reward. Now today's risk versus reward was right on point. I had very good risk versus reward. I think worst case scenario is that I could have lost $10,000 on grind, but I made 50. So it's like a 5-to-1. So we've made real inroads into the deficit that we saw in terms of achieving the goal on November. But yeah, I mean, $90,000 puts us within $10,000 of the monthly goal. Now, if I look at where we are on the month, of course, we've got 3 days next week. We've got 3 days the following week. So that's 6 days in total. We've got Thanksgiving, of course we have. There's no market, and then there's a half day. So we've got 6.5 trading days. So forget the half for a second. That is important. But just the 6 days alone, if we perform to what we've been doing across the year to goal, and we perform to $5,000 per day, that gives us an extra $30,000, and we're already at 90,000. So that puts us at 120,000 on November. So let's take a look at that, how that puts us on the year, and what that actually does to us, because we did fall below $5,000, so we're back above $5,000, just barely. $5,200 is our average for the year. Again, if we manage to get the $30,000 for the remaining 6 full days, we'll have a scratch day for the half day. Let's just say that an additional $30,000. That will put us for November. That will put us at 1.144 million. The goal was 1.2. So that gives us a little over $56,000 to do in December gross. Now, the net numbers are a little bit different. So TraderView, because I like today, for example, I've not imported directly from DAS. I've exported via an XML sheet, so I'm a little bit shy. So this is showing me as being $40,000 away from that goal. I'm not actually $40,000 away. I'm $100,000 away from that 7-figure goal net. So you can see there's a $60,000 discrepancy there based on the transaction charges and fees and the like. So $100,000 net to do between now and the end of the year. So if I have a $30,000 remainder to the month, that's going to eat into that by quite a significant amount. So we're probably going to get about $25,000 of net profit out of that $30,000, which means that I need to have a $75,000 December, which means $100,000 December gross will take me to that 7-figure number. So that for me is really motivating. I set myself this goal of a seven-figure net number in 2022, based on having a really good 2021, top of the bull market. I wanted to have a really good 2022, and the goals that I set myself based on, I didn't anticipate the bear market, but to be able to be within touching distance right now of a 7-figure net number in a bear market, which I set the goals at the top of the bull market, I'm really proud of my trading. Now, November has been difficult. It's been very difficult for a number of reasons. The market hasn't had the volume and the parabolic movers that a lot of months. So June, July, and August, I was sitting pretty. $150,000 plus months, and I took some time off in September. So to only do $60,000, $70,000 in September was normal, because I took that time off. To do 90,000 in October, whilst I was disappointed, we came back the final week of the month, and we got within 10% of the monthly goal, achievable. And we went into October ahead, so I was okay with that. We've not been trading well in November, but today has set everything back. And these days like this are what day traders live for. We don't aim to have a $50,000 day every day of the week. It's great. It's fantastic when it happens. It doesn't happen very often. I can count on one hand how many times I've had days this month, this year, that have been over $50,000. And I could probably say it's probably 4 or 5, maybe, over $50,000. Maybe not even that. And there was one in February, one in June, one in August, and today. So probably 4 to the good side. But conversely, I've had a $60,000+ losing day as well. And people would say that's bad risk management from my point of view. And they're probably right. What I would say to that is that big risk, big reward. And this year has shown me that I can get big reward and only occasionally get hit by the big risk. So Friday, I'm going to enjoy my weekend. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my wine. I'm actually getting to the end of the bottle. I'll probably hit a gin and tonics. I'm celebrating. It's been a really good day, a really good week as a result of that. I had a bit of a drawdown on Wednesday. I went $20,000 down. I managed to claw that back, so I finished the day like $9,000 down. But still, it's a green week. It's a very, very, very good green week. So I'm going to enjoy some drinks. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I know I will. And if you're not a football fan, and I say football, if you're in the US, soccer, that's the World Cup starts on Sunday. Don't forget to tune in and watch that. I will be back on Monday, 90 minutes before the market opens. So for the last 90 minutes of the pre-market session, and I'll also be trading the first, as I always do, the first hour of the regular session, or the opener, as it's affectionately called. So come join me on Monday. We'll do it all over again. I hope we can have another day on Monday like we've had today. Realistically, though, I'll be happy with $5,000 on Monday. I'll be happy with a green day on Monday. Anything above a 0 day is a good day. A profitable day is a good day. So a green day, regardless of how big, is always a good day. But when you've had a $50,000 day, you can't berate me for being so buoyant and happy today. It's been a great day all round. And of course, the wine helps. A good quality bottle of wine to celebrate always helps. In the meantime, if you're struggling for your content, for trading content, check out my playlists and come learn how to trade. That being said, actually, if you want to learn how to trade and you want me to teach you, you want me to take you under my wing and be your mentor, join my Discord. You get access to my Discord by joining the Day Trade with Tony course. So check out the link in the description below. Come join Day Trade with Tony community. And for November only, use Black Friday as your coupon code at checkout, and you'll get 25% off. So come join us. We welcome everybody and anybody. If you're wondering what's this Day Trade with Tony, the education business, then go and check out the introduction to day trading video here in my playlist. And that's the first lesson on Day Trade with Tony. The rest you've got to pay for. First hit's always free. In the meantime, enjoy the trade replays of IC and Grindr. And I'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. There we go. Quick 1200. Locking that in. There's action to be had here. I'm going to put 20-cent trailing stop in place on this. Give it some room. 5,000 shares. This is a Veric Bio, ISEE. There we go. I got stopped out for $2,000. Still in the still interested in this, but I want it to break the $0.50. We've got the resistance up at the $0.50, but we're $2,000 up. We're green. Didn't get filled. Caught between the spreads right now. She's going places. Just $1 would be nice. Volatility on this is huge. Bear that in mind. $33. What I'm looking for. Nice. Nice. There we go. Stop take 24 grand. Happy days. I'm packing it up. I'm packing it up. Oh, that was nerve-wracking. But what can you do? That was happy days. Some off. Set running stop. goodness. This could be one of my best ever trades. I've got stopped out. No. Is this halt level 48.97? It's halted again. There we go. Oh. 50 grand. Ah, didn't get anything on that last one. There we go, quick 1200, locking that in. There's action to be had here. I'm going to put 20-cent trailing stop in place on this, give it some room. 5,000 shares. This is a Veric Bio. ISEE. There we go. Got stopped out for $2,000. Still in the still interested in this, but I want it to break the $0.50. We've got the resistance up at the $0.50, but we're $2,000 up. We're green. Didn't get filled. Caught between the spreads right now. She's going places. Just $1 would be nice. Volatility on this is huge. Bear that in mind. $33. What I'm looking for. Nice. Nice. There we go. Stop take 24 grand. Happy days. I'm packing it up. I'm packing it up. Oh, that was nerve-wracking. But what can you do? That was happy days. Some off. Set. Running stop. Goodness, this could be one of my best ever trades. I've got stop tape. No. Is this halt level 48.97? It's halted again. There we go. Oh, 50 grand. Ah, didn't get anything on that last one.